If you haven't done so already, it's a good idea to memorize the note G and the note F, and that's easily done because G lives on the second line up from the middle, and F lives on the second line down from the middle. What we're going to do with those is we're going to use them as a starting point for reading notes. So here I have a small piece of music written on ground staff. So you can see that it's got treble clef and bass clef, and it's got notes written on lines and spaces. So you can print this. You can find it online at Learn Piano Video Lessons. And we're looking at this first group of notes, and we can see that there are 4 of them before this bar line, and they're all on line 2. That means that all 4 of those notes are G's. So looking at the first group of notes takes us into the second measure now. And if we still look at that second line, we'll notice that the notes in this measure are no longer sitting on the line as a bead on a string. These notes are above the line. That makes them space notes. So we learned before that notes on the piano have neighbors that move by step. And if one note is a line, then its neighbor is a space. So you can see that the note that's in space 2 is 1 note higher than G. G is on line 2, 1 note higher is A. And also relative to this G line, we could draw a note in the space below. So referencing the second line G, down 1 note is F. So now looking at this line of music that's written here, we can see that there's a group of 4 notes on the line, on line 2, a group of 4 notes in the space above line 2, and then a group of 4 notes again on line 2, so those are G's. The last thing I see is a note in the space below line 2, so that would be the note below G. Here's G. The space note below G is F. So what I can do is I can play through this. Now I know what is going to happen, so I'm going to be reading these notes in groups. I'm going to read this group here, and I'm going to play it with a nice steady beat. 1, 2, looking ahead at the next group, I see 4 notes, looking ahead, and looking ahead again, 2, 3, 4. So the way this works is I'm reading 4 notes here, they're all on line 2, 4 notes here in space 2, 4 notes back on line 2, and then I'm holding this note that lands on space 1. So I'll just play that again in case you didn't see it the first time. We've got G, 2, 3, up 1, A, 2, 3, down 1, G, 2, 3, down 1, F, hold, 3, 4. So using just that note G, we were able to play this whole line of music that used 3 different notes. The other note that I showed you was your bass F, which is down to line 2 in the bass clef. And referencing this line note F, we're able to also read the note above F, which is a space note, and the note below F, which is a space note. So looking at the piano, here's my F line. The note above F will be G, and the note below F will be E. G and E are both space notes. So here I have a line of music, and it's written like this. F, 2, moving down, space, 2, 3, 4, line, 2, 3, on the line, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've now read 2 lines of music, and the only note we needed to reference in the treble clef was G, and the only note we needed to reference in the bass clef was F. So if you'd like to print this off, you could practice it yourself. You can use different fingers as your starting finger. You could start this off with the 3rd finger on G, moving to 4th finger, back to 3rd finger, and to 2nd. You could start the same pattern with your 4th finger. You could start the same pattern with your 4th finger on G, moving up 1, moving back down, we have lots of options of fingers. Because this music doesn't tell us what fingers to play it with, we should experiment with different fingerings. So we can start with thumb, and then 2. Back to thumb, 2, 3, 4. Now we can also start this with finger 2, and we can start it with finger 3, or we could even start it with finger 4.